Hey, welcome back. We're going to jump right in today. Got a question for you to kick it off. Do you have a new project coming up? If you do you feel ready? Well, if you're leading the project, you better be ready. But here's a more important question. Are your team and your stakeholders ready? Wait a second. Let's take it back here. What does ready even mean here? Well, by ready, what I mean is everyone aware of the project's goals, scope, constraints, timing, and risks? You know, all of the details that'll really inform how you'll get the project done together? In my experience as a project manager, we're always ready. Teams are always ready to start a project because we can start working on things with minimal barriers. But the problem is, when you just start working without actually discussing the project details, is that you end up working on the wrong thing or under the assumption that you're supposed to do a certain thing, and you might be wrong. I mean, after all, you know what they say about assumptions. So here's what I say. Cut those assumptions and get to the cold hard facts by conducting a project kickoff meeting just to set the stage for the project. Kickoff meetings are a critical step in your early project stages to make sure that your team and your stakeholders are not only informed about the project and what you're doing, but also how you'll do it together. Now, these meetings can be handled in a few ways, and I'll cover some options here. But I always recommend that when you go into any meeting, you have a goal. And the goal for the kickoff meeting should be to get details out in the open and to gain alignment on the project's goals, scope, requirements, risks, and any other relevant information related to what you'll do together. So in my career as an agency project manager, I would typically conduct two kickoffs. An internal one with my team where everyone gets the download on the upcoming project, and one where the client's involved and we discuss further details. So I always found the internal kickoff meeting to be a great opportunity to assemble the team and to have the person who sold or initiated the project present the details that led to the project's final scope of work. The reason I like to do that is because every project comes with a backstory, right? There's a reason that you're doing that project. There are people who have goals or ideas that led to writing that project scope. And I think uncovering those details with the team and truly gaining an understanding of the project together can help a team to succeed when it comes to generating creative approaches to that project, to planning the effort, to managing the client's expectations, and honestly, to just simply staying within scope and not going over budget. It's also a great time to just let the team ask questions about the project, to ask questions about the client or the client's organization, to really dig in on the scope and the related estimates of that scope, maybe even to think about the resourcing plan and so much more. I guess I'm just a big believer in transferring knowledge to the entire team so that the PM is not the only person who holds all the details. To me, that's what makes teams successful and that's what makes projects successful. Now, the second kickoff that I would conduct is one with my client or stakeholders included. So I just want to mention here that the way that you work, the types of projects that you work on, the organization you work in, and even your scopes will likely dictate how you plan and facilitate your kickoff meetings with stakeholders. So I'm going to offer two options here, and you can pick and adapt which one makes the most sense to you. The first is a standard kickoff, and the second is a creative kickoff, or what I call a creative kickoff. The standard kickoff would likely be an hour-long meeting, maybe 90 minutes, where you have your team and your stakeholders attend a session to discuss the goals, scope, and details of how you'll manage the project. It's super straightforward and can be kind of more of an introduction of teams, a review of details, with a little bit of Q&A or discussion involved. Now, the creative kickoff would be more in depth, and it might be more like an extended workshop where you cover the goals, scope, and details of how you'll manage the project, but you also might discuss how you'll meet those goals together, and even start to engage your stakeholders in generating ideas, discussing preferences when it comes to that execution, and honestly, just making them feel like they're a part of the overall process of making a thing, because you are going to need them involved in that process. So I've planned a lot of these workshops with teams, and they can last a few hours. They can also last up to a few days. In my experience, they've been really helpful in building team relationships between agencies and clients, and to showcase the talent and expertise of your team, which can kind of be exciting and fun. They can also be really helpful to project managers, and team leads because you get to observe interactions and note things like risks. You find who the prickly personalities are. You can look for and suss out of-scope ideas to squash them right away. You can even find possible process points that you might need to implement in order to manage the things that you've observed. So I think no matter how you handle your kickoff or kickoffs, you want to be sure that you're doing the following things that are going to show up on screen. First, introduce your teams to one another. After all, you never want to assume that the folks you're working with know one another or that they even know what each other does. So make some time to get personal and get to know the folks who will be a part of the project. Go around the room and have individuals introduce themselves and talk about what they do and how they'll contribute to the project. That's meaningful. Then you want to make the project goals crystal clear. Starting off on the right foot means that everyone involved in the project knows not only what you're building, but why. Getting goals out in the open immediately will clear up any misconceptions, and it'll help you when you're further in the project and need to make decisions. You should know these goals going into the meeting, so I'd probably present them and have your stakeholders confirm them here. That might turn into a discussion about those goals or even a change to them, which is fine, right? Trust me, you want that to happen early on, like at your kickoff meeting, rather than at your first deliverable review. Next, you'll want to review the project scope in detail. I've found that doing this in conjunction with the goals will really cement everyone's understanding of what will and will not be done in the project. And that's going to be important for you when you're deep in the project and a stakeholder asks for something that's completely out of left field and out of scope. If they attended this meeting and they confirmed the scope with you, you can point back to it. Not in a kind of like, I told you so kind of way, as much as a, hey, we discussed this and have it documented. So that's the project scope and it's not a part of it. You get it. I don't know about you, but I like having backup to those tricky conversations. And this is a strong way to get those boundaries set from day one. All right, so next, I would discuss any possible risks that might exist on the project. Sometimes those are tough to uncover, but you'll likely know some basic risks coming into the project. Mention those things, and maybe even ask a question like, are there any projects or tasks that we should know about that could impact our project? Or maybe, are there any events, technology, or people that we should be aware of going into the project that could have an impact on what we do? Just opening up the conversation and making it known that you're looking for those things will show that you're doing a great job by thinking through every possible thing in order to keep the project on track from day one. You want to build that trust. So next, I think you should talk about how you talk. Sounds silly, I know, but you have to discuss how you'll communicate during the project. So if you want to run weekly status meetings, you should talk about that. And talk about who will need to be in the status meetings. If you'll be using TeamGantt, you should talk about it and talk about how it'll be used and what the expectations are of everyone on the team. You get the idea here. Maybe even discuss your communications plan. And hey, if you want more information on things like status reports and communications plans, or even free templates for those things, check out the Coffee with Brett playlist on YouTube. We've got episodes on those, and we've got links to free templates, which is going to help you. All right, so now, the next one is really important, and it's about the process and the plan. So you might not even have a full plan at the point of a kickoff meeting, and that's completely fine. If that's the case, at a minimum, you want to talk about the high-level project timing and what you know your team will deliver. And if those deliverables will include rounds of feedback and revisions or approvals, get granular on the details of that process. If there's anything that I've personally learned as a PM working with paying clients, it's that they ignore the details around feedback timing and volume because honestly, they just want to get it right and they don't care how long it takes or how much it costs. Not so true about that second part. So it's fair for them to want to get it right, but you need to make them aware of the boundaries of your scope because that's a huge detail that can impact your project budget as well as your timeline. So you need to suss out who your stakeholders will be, how you prefer to receive feedback, and how many times you're scoped to revise your deliverables. There's no better place than in the kickoff meeting where everyone's present and part of the conversation to do that. Again, use this session to set those expectations. All right, so next, you just want to talk about next steps. I mean, you should do this in any meeting also, but in this instance, you have an opportunity to show what work is coming and what to expect from that work. And lastly, make some space and time for Q&A and generate some excitement around the project. I really think the kickoff meeting is a great opportunity to share information, set expectations, answer questions, or even clear confusion, and honestly, get everyone pumped to make something awesome. Of course, you're going to uncover a lot more ideas, questions, and even issues through the course of any project, but taking the opportunity to get everyone on the same page at the beginning will help you to get everyone aligned and excited from day one. So tell me, what's your kickoff process look like? Are there any aspects of your kickoff process or agenda that I've missed here? Or do you do any fun exercises in your kickoffs? I have to say, I'm a huge fan of games and exercises to really uncover differences, to generate ideas, and even gain alignment in my meetings. But I don't have time to cover those things now. If you want more on that, and maybe another episode on that, drop a note in the comments. But right now, I'm gonna get back to my coffee. But before I do that, if you enjoyed this video, let us know by giving us a thumbs up in YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can get notified when we release new episodes. Thanks so much and have a good one. Hey!